Hi there, welcome to another episode of Amputee Outdoors. Today we're going to do a review of the G4 Free Campfire Portable Stove. Stay tuned. For many years, I've used the typical butane little camp stove that you can get. I've also used the liquid little camp stoves as well that use denatured alcohol and things like that. But I've always wanted to try one of those little campfires that's portable that you set up and you burn twigs, because we've got lots and lots of twigs around here, and I thought this would be a fun thing to do. I'll try it out and see how it goes. So I got one of these G4 Free camp stoves, and first let me give you a couple of statistics. So your typical isobutane burner and the fuel that comes with it is going to weigh in at about 10.5 ounces roughly, okay? This, all by itself, is 14 ounces, including the bag. Now, that's an extra 4 ounces roughly. However, this is really, really thin. That's it, okay? Your butane canister and then the little burner, they're bulky compared to this. They're very bulky compared to this. This will fit into your backpack, just slide it in there and there you go. So that's one thing that I kind of like about it, even though it does have a few extra ounces on it. So let me bring the camera in close and I'll show you how to set it up, because it's a little tricky, but there's a reason for that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is clear the area where you're going to put your camp stove. You can use the edge of the bag for that. It gets a little muddy, but that's all right. It's camping. You're supposed to get muddy when you're camping. Let me show you the parts that come with it. First, we have these two cross pieces that are going to go on the top that you can put your pot on. Then we have this piece, which you'll notice is nice and shiny because I have not used it. I don't know really what I would do with this other than maybe cook a hamburger patty on it, so we're not going to bother with this piece. We're just going to put it off to the side. This is the base. And you'll notice I have used this, and it did take a little bit of warpage there. This is stainless steel, so there is a little bit of warpage there and discoloration, which is normal. This is the front. Got some soot on there. The G4 Free logo right there, boldly presented. And then these are the sides and the back. So let's put this together. The sides and the back can go together in any order. It doesn't really matter. The interlock like that, okay? Then you get the back piece, and what you'll want to do, you've got these tabs here on a tab on the bottom and two on the sides. You put the bottom one in, put the side one in, and then the other side. Okay? Pretty straightforward so far, easy to do. The tricky part is putting on the faceplate. You'll notice these notches go down, these notches go up. And so when you put this together, kind of have to get one side in and then a bit fiddly here to get the other piece in there. Oh, come on. There we go. But there's a reason for that. Because of the way those two are on opposite, ends going from each other, it holds together. It doesn't come apart, okay? So that's kind of nice. I know some of the older versions of these kinds of camp stoves would have that problem where they were quick and easy to put together, but they easily came apart if you just jostled them a little bit. You put in the cross piece here, and what that does is give it a little more structural integrity. There we go. Okay? All right, so now that it's all set up, and you can see it's pretty firm and steady now, I'm going to get my fire kit out here and put in some paper and some burners and some twigs, and we'll get this thing going. All right, so I've got some wire lint in there with Vaseline on it, some paper, and some twigs. Now, this being the Pacific Northwest, and you can tell it's the Northwest because it's raining when I'm doing this, all these twigs here came from the trees right nearby, and I broke them off the branches of those trees. They're all dead branches. You want to get branches that are on the tree. Those are going to be drier here in the Northwest. Anything you find on the ground is probably going to be damp, if not outright wet. So you want to get the branches from the trees themselves. I think we've got some good burning going now. Okay, let's put in a couple of branches. Now I want to try and keep the branches below the level of the support here. A nice big feeding hole there to put branches into. It's really convenient. And the smaller pieces I can just drop in there. So one thing with a fire pit like this, it's not the kind of thing where you can just put on a big log and leave it and come back to it later. This is the kind of thing where you've got to keep an eye on it. Now I can see this being very useful if you're doing a fire in the wintertime and you're doing snow camping or winter camping and you want a fire to keep warm, get a bunch of twigs, get this guy going in your little campsite, and you can be good. But for cooking, let's see what it does for cooking. So what I've got here, I've got my pot, and I've got a can of clam chowder, big old can of clam chowder, and I'm going to cook that up. I'm going to have clam chowder for lunch. That on there. That's a whole lot of clam chowder. That's going to be a big lunch. That's ready. And now to keep the fire going, I've got some other big pieces here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the bark off these because that's where a lot of the moisture is on these branches, is on the bark. So you take the bark off and that'll help the fire burn better. Just put it in like that, I guess. And now I've got a nice little fire to sit by whilst I have my soup. Hot soup by a campfire in the rain in the forest. Life is good, my friends. Life is good. So, waiting for the G4 free camp stove. Materials, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because the base plate did warp a little bit. It'll probably warp more over time too. Craftsmanship, 5 out of 5. I have seen other reviews where people have talked about the edges being really, really sharp, cutting their fingers on them. I did not experience that with this. Everything fit together really well. Once it's all fit together, you saw it's kind of fiddly, but there's a reason for that to make it lock into place. So I thought that was really good. Give it a 5 out of 5. Functionality is kind of hard to say with a thing where it depends upon the quality of wood that you have, the quantity of wood, wind, things like that. But I would say in terms of functionality, this did an excellent job of cooking up my soup. I was able to get the fire just where I wanted it. It was easy to feed, easy to get it started, and it's putting off a really good amount of heat. I am taking advantage of the fact that I've got a tarp with a reflective layer, so it takes some of that heat and reflecting it back, which helps. But I mean, this has got a lot of heat coming. I can feel a good hot burn from here. So in the wintertime, if I'm in a situation where getting a fire pit going is going to be a bit tricky, this is going to be a winner for me. This is going to work really well. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 for functionality. Now, it is kind of subjective depending upon your situation and the environment that you're finding yourself in. But if you're looking for a camp stove that's portable, thin, easy to transport, and get set up like this, this G4 Free camp stove is a pretty good purchase. I'll put a link to it down in the comment section or the description down below, so you can buy one if you like. And of course, as an Amazon affiliate, if you buy it through Amazon, I will get a small pittance from that purchase. Whatever camp stove you're using when you go out into the woods, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good meal, and I hope you have a great time out in nature enjoying yourself. I'll see you out there.